Welcome back, Festival Tales fam. We're back with another episode. Babs is bowing
Yes,
to
welcome
the
back.
crowd.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. We are so happy to have you join us today. We got a good old-fashioned classic reading stories today for you guys. I don't even know what just came out of my mouth, but another festival story for you guys. But before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping items. You guys have been coming through with your stories, so we appreciate that so much. Definitely keep it coming. Like we said, you could either shoot us a DM on Instagram or on Twitter or fill out the form. It is all anonymous, so we appreciate it. Now that festival season 2021 is over, definitely rack your brains and see what stories you have for us to share as we get ready for festival season 2022. This episode is also brought to you by stagehoppers.com. So you can find our content on there as well as a lot of other EDM content, news, articles, podcasts, YouTube channels, fun things like that. So definitely go check them out at stagehoppers.com. And that is basically it. Oh, last thing, we are on YouTube as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
go give our podcast a follow over there if you want to see the video version. Also, if you are on Spotify, you can now rate us as a podcast, and you can also see video on Spotify now, which is pretty cool. So rate, review, subscribe, all the things. And we will also have a TikTok account coming soon. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
And I think that's about it. So Babs, take it away.
All right. Yeah, lots of big things moving for the Festival Tales fam. But here we go. So for the story, it was late afternoon on the second day of the Leeds Festival in England, and I was hitting a massive energy dip. I had blown through a significant bit of my budget, so oh my gosh, I'm sorry, laugh at this. So dinner looked like it was going to be French fries again, but what I really wanted was festival noodles. Yeah, I know they're overpriced and they're not very good, and they would be a 2-star review at best on Yelp if this was a normal restaurant. But when you're a little bit drunk and a lot hungry, they smell like heaven. And then it happened. I was walking away from Noodle Nirvana to catch the Idols show when I saw it, a 20-pound note just lying there in the grass, not a soul in sight. The festival gods had heard my prayers. They had bestowed upon me. My thing did not move over. They had bestowed upon me the gift of noodles with enough left over for a beer. Well, with a full stomach and a slight buzz, I felt back to my normal self as I headed out for more adventures. It was then that I noticed another object on the ground. The afternoon had given away to dusk, so the gathering darkness, it took me a moment to make out that it was a purse. Clearly, a slightly sloppy festival fan had lost all their worldly possessions. Flushed with the positive vibes from my free noodle dinner, I was determined to pay the karma forward and return the purse to its owner. I crouched down and reached inside to see what clues lie inside to the owner's identity. This is when everything went sideways. The first thing I noticed was that it was wet, extremely wet. I thought that for some reason that it might be water, but the consistency, too vicious. It was all full. It was all wrong. And because it was dark, I couldn't see inside. Then the smell hit me and I realized I had put my hand into a purse full of vomit. Oh my God. Someone had vomited and it had gotten all over the purse. No, they had filled the entire bag and spewed like an abnormal amount.
Oh my gosh.
I am not, this best part afterwards, I am not a huge fan of germs, possibly a bit phobic. So putting my hand at least 3 knuckles deep into a pool of strangers' vomit was not ideal. I made a beeline straight for the nearest porta potty, cleaned it off as best I could. There was no soap because there was never any soap at the music festival, but as an experienced festie, I did have my trusty bottle of hand sanitizer and used it all. Guess the lesson is that mysteries await you inside a festival. Sometimes it's a 20-pound bill, sometimes it's vomit, but what you should really remember from this story is never put your hand inside anything you can't see in a festival.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that
he wrote this like an essay, which I really appreciate.
Not only did he write it as an essay, he wrote it like he had to, I don't know, it was very well written.
This was a very well written story.
Like it was I could really picture everything that was occurring.
Yeah,
I didn't have to add
this was like a literature paper. I love it.
Yeah, bravo to you, sir.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if he's from England and that's why it's proper.
Probably.
That makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
I am not gonna lie.
Um,
First, before we get, I'm not gonna lie. The first thing that stumped me on this entire story was your thing saying 20-pound note. You can ask Ade before we started this episode. I was like, for 5 minutes, like, what does he mean by that? And then it dawned on me, like,
yeah.
you're in England, that's the currency. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just being a stupid American as usual, but that makes sense now.
Uncultured.
Very uncultured.
Yeah, very uncultured. But
We're
yeah, the
number one.
typical
We're not.
we're not. The
We're
typical
not.
festival struggle where you have to decide what kind of dinner you're going to have at a festival because of depending on what you can afford.
I mean, that's true. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never had that. I'm just gonna be, I can't like act like I've experienced that. I've always
I
gone
did at
with
college.
enough money. I've always gone with enough money to get food every day, like no matter what.
Yeah.
I've just never,
Yeah.
but I also worked through college. So I wasn't like I was broke. Like I had money to go do what I wanted to do. So like when
Yeah.
I went, I was like, I'm gonna eat. I will say though, I've shared this before. I think like we bought a bunch of food one year, and literally the next day, I was like, "Oh, there's food trucks," and I just went and bought food. Like I wasted all that money for no reason on food, like ham, like bread, everything, and
Yeah.
didn't eat one bite of a ham sandwich the entire weekend.
That's how I feel like what happens with like camping festivals. Like you buy all this food and then you end up like being like, oh, I'm just gonna go get something.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I mean, I also hate like cold sandwich meats and stuff. So not it for me. But I mean, other people
Yeah.
do it. I get it. I get being cheap.
Yeah. I feel like the only time I ever had to was EDC Las Vegas because I just graduated from college. So I was like a little bit and I didn't have a job just yet lined up. Like I had some money, but I mean, yeah, I had like chicken tenders inside and then Taco Bell for breakfast. It was
Taco Bell for
all
breakfast. That sounds horrible.
yeah, like whenever we got back from the shuttles, we would just get Taco Bell.
That doesn't
Because
sound
we
like
were all
it
broke
does.
college kids. It was rough. But anyway, diving into the story. Um I wonder if the UK's noodles are anything like island noodles, because those are my favorite.
Yeah, that's gonna say that's the only comparison I even have, and yeah, they're pretty good. I don't. They make it look like a giant stir fry. It looks like, right? Isn't that how they make it?
Yeah. Yeah. I love island. I haven't had island noodles in so long. I can't wait to have them again. Have you had them?
I've never bought them personally, but I've had like friends buy them, and I gave like a bite of theirs, and they're good. They're definitely good. But I've
Yeah.
never something like I don't know. I just haven't. I don't really crave noodles. I don't know.
It's
I
just
guess
super filling. I feel like it's like the best filling meal for your buck, I
because
guess, is how I feel about it.
this also has like veggies with it too. It's like everything you
Yeah.
could need for that for your
Yeah,
day.
you get
Carbs,
yeah,
protein, all that
some
stuff.
fiber.
Fiber.
A little bit of everything. Um, but man, I'm so grossed out by this story, honest.
This is a great story. I'm also very grossed out by it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of vomit. Not at all. I would have
Me either.
probably thrown that bag away. I probably would have vomited myself if I
I
touched
think I
vomit.
would have too. Like I was
Yeah.
just thinking about like the smell on his hand afterwards and like I
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
I'm definitely with him there. I would have ran and washed my hands like 20 or 30 times. There's no way I would have
Yeah.
been able to, because I hate the smell of it even. Like I would be it might even ruin my whole night if I was honest with you. Like if I
Yeah.
was really honest, it might ruin my whole night. I hate
It would ruin mine, honestly. I wouldn't be able to do it.
that is the most disgusting things I think us as people do. Is that I can't
Yeah.
stand it. It's just can't.
I'm curious if the purse was the owner's purse or if they donated the purse to the cause. Because I could imagine this being like one of those things where like a friend is about to puke and she's just like, here, just puke in this and gives her purse. Or if it was the girl that was just like, oh, like I just am going to do this and get it over with.
How many people do you think just throw up in the crowd?
I've never seen it happen.
I have definitely seen that.
You have?
Too many times. Yes.
I don't think I've seen people like bent over at the trash can, but outside of the crowd at least. But I don't think I've ever seen it in the crowd.
I've seen it outside of the crowd, especially on like the little like perimeter fences. Like people go and
Yeah.
sit out, they go sit out there. that you have to be careful when you go sit at the fences. I always do that now. Check where I'm sitting.
I didn't even think about that.
I do it every time, because one time I almost did, and some guy was like, no, and he stopped me. That was like, there was so, and I was like, oh, thank God. But like, yeah, now every time I go sit, I pull out my phone. Anywhere really, I pull out my phone and check to make sure I'm not going to sit and puke or something.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it in the crowd, which is a little disturbing, because it's like,
I've heard of like people like almost throwing up and like swallowing their own vomit while in the crowd.
Have you gotten?
We're gonna put like a trigger vomit warning on this.
Yeah, definitely. Have you been thrown up on by anyone? I have not, thank God.
I don't think so. I've had to like help people throw up, but that wasn't even at festivals. That was just like going out. Like going out. Like I would be there, like one of those things. But
hold their hair.
Never at a festival, I don't think.
No, I haven't had that happen. Thank God. I would not like that on me. Okay, I've heard of girls doing this, but I have not. What about peeing in the crowd?
No. Never done it. Never heard of anyone doing it. I've heard guys doing it. A lot of guys in my friend group would always do it in a water bottle and throw it into the crowd.
That's semi-acceptable because it's in a container at least. But
yeah,
we knew of one girl that like we met and hung out with us over the weekend, and she like tried to do it in the crowd, and we all were like, what the fuck? Like it was but like,
oh my gosh.
And then I definitely heard of other people doing it, but no, not usually. It's like just gonna go to the porta potty. Like I'm not taking that. Yeah, no.
I've never had to go to the bathroom that bad where like I couldn't make it. Was it a matter of just laziness, or she just couldn't make it?
It's a great question, actually. I don't know the answer to that. Didn't ask. Kind of just
because I know like for one of my friends at Coachella, we were like deep in the crowd of Sahara tent, and like and this was the old Sahara tent in 2017 where like it was a pain to get out of. So like he was just like, I just don't really want to go through all that right now and try to get to the bathroom and then come back in time for, I think it was Dylan Francis we were waiting for. I'm pretty sure it was Dylan Francis.
Big whoop.
Hey, he throws down, honestly.
Of all people, I don't want to miss him.
2017 Dylan Francis was fire. 2017 Dylan Francis was good. But with the Sahara tent, like it's just one big, like it just goes in and it's a big overhang kind of thing. And so he would have had to go all the way back, and like even the crowd goes out past the overhang. And I don't even remember where the closest bathroom was to there because I haven't been, but I'm going back this year. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so he was just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. So he just peed in a water bottle and then just like tossed it off to the side.
My question.
And that was that.
My question too is, why did they not throw the purse away? Like, what was the point of like, let me put this on the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, it's full of puke and you don't just go throw it away. You just put it on the ground.
Yeah, they just left it on the ground. It looks like, I think maybe like it was probably just in between, probably where the food was and the stage was and the crowd was maybe. But yeah,
that like makes me
so maybe that adds on to the theory that it was just a girl that was just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw up with this person, leave it here, other than because like if it was a friend, maybe the friend would be more logical, being like, yeah, let's throw this out, because I would do that too. I would go throw it somewhere so no one sees it. Ugh.
Yeah, gross. This is a very disgusting episode.
All right. Is there anything else?
Did you ever have a funny? I have a funny puking story that I think I definitely shared before, but like I don't throw much. Like that's not me. I don't like it. Like as I've stated, I hate vomit. I don't like it. None of that. But when I was at Lost Lands and I had that sriracha thing happen, I ran out of the crowd and got away from everyone because I didn't want, to be, obviously I didn't want to be there. And I'm like puking up first off, sriracha, hot as can be, is hot as hell. It like hurts going down, and then I'm throwing it back.
Imagine.
I'm throwing it back up, and it's just burning my mouth and my throat as I'm. It's disgusting. It's horrible. But like some kid, which is so funny. I don't know if I even said this in the Lost Lands review, but like some kid walking by sees me, and it's hot. Like it's hot. It's spicy. I'm throwing up, and not only that, I'm tearing up. Like it looks like I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm like I can't do anything about it. And he's like. It's just this like normal dude. He was like, "Are you okay, man?" And I'm like I'm like cooking, I'm crying. And I'm like trying to explain to him that I chugged sriracha, and like I was just like, and then finally I was like, I just need water. And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I'll pay you, but please go buy me water. Like I don't care." And he did. Like bless his heart, he came back. And then when I finally like chugged enough and like stopped, he was like, what happened? I explained it to him, but it was just so funny, like me dying and then like crying. I'm like, it's not what you think. Like I'm not fucked up. It's just sriracha. Like it's just sriracha.
Oh my gosh. I'll never forget that story, you guys. That's the Lost Lands episode from this past year.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go check out that episode.
I will also never forget that. That was.
Yeah, that definitely will. You'll be traumatized. Have you had sriracha since?
No. Matter of fact, if I see it in the grocery store, I just go to another aisle. I just leave.
I would too, honestly. I'd be triggered by that. There's definitely like food that like I don't eat anymore because if like I threw up because of it or something. Like I got food poisoning from this one place in Arizona, and I'll like never go back to it. It ended up closing, but that like triggered me for quite a while.
The best part of that was that they closed down, which explains so much.
They did close down.
It's funny as like I remember as a kid we went somewhere, and I'm pretty sure I got food poisoning from Wendy's before, but we went to like it was a bar, a restaurant, like before a hockey game, and my dad like had food there, and I took a bite of his food and I threw up after that, and I was like, I'll never eat there. It took me like 12-15 years to finally go back, and I went there as an adult, and that was like the first time in years I went back.
Yeah. It's scarring. I have thrown up at one rave, and that was, I think I've talked about this on the story on Festival Tales. It was Mad Decent 2016. My first one was 2015. Yeah, so it was Mad Decent 2016. I think I just like got overheated and had a lot of liquids and stuff going on in my system and had to go relieve myself. I was a youngin'. I didn't know what I was doing, and had to go do that. But it was a quick puke and rally, and that was it, basically. After that, I haven't. I was like, ugh.
No, I hate it too much. I like, even with drinking out, I have no desire to get to that. Like the second I am at the bar and I take a shot and I feel like, I'm like, I'm done for the night. Like something in my head is like, nope, we're done. Like, and will just have water the rest of the night. I get sick weird.
Yeah. I'm a post-drinker throw up person.
As in
so like the day morning? After. Yeah, the next morning.
That's even worse.
I know. If ibuprofen doesn't work or like water, food, like none of that works for my headache, then I know I need to throw up.
See, it's like a weird thing. Sit there and just die. I would rather just die.
I can't.
It's funny. I've done that before. Where I've had friends be like, dude, just you get it out. I'm like, yeah, I would rather suffer than do that. And I'll just sit there and suffer. Like it's horrible.
There will be like I remember when Chase and I first started dating, I was like, I'm just gonna go make myself throw up, and he was like, what? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, trust me, like I'm so hungover and I know this is gonna help me. And I was like, especially if we're about to go eat food or something, like I just need to try and get it out.
It's so funny. And he stuck around. Look at that. It's great.
I know. He still loves me. So he doesn't get it, but whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Well, that's all I got now.
I think we've talked enough about vomit. I'm gonna go throw up now.
Everyone. Yeah, hopefully you stuck through with this episode. And please subscribe to the podcast, and
hope you don't stick your hand in a purse of vomit soon.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, you close this out. Bye.